And now back to Open Mic Friday with Mike Spence and Butter.
Well, we're back with Open Mic Friday, and our guest today is Tommy Fox, cameraman extraordinaire, musician, a little bit of everything, very young talent that we have here at TSPN. We've been very fortunate to have him here for a long, long time, 7 years. And his future seems to be maybe off to San Francisco.
Yes.
In the very near future.
Yeah, I'm excited to move there. I understand you have a history in San Francisco as well.
Oh, good redirect.
Yeah,
good redirect. Just talk about me,
talk about
and
you.
so we don't have to talk about you. I've got it. Well, we can give a little bit of history. I can probably share. I may have shared some of your history, as I did a little TV in the old days. That was over 20 years ago. But I had a camera crew, a bunch of young guys, and every once in a while, I mean really every few years, I look at old photos and I see some of those old camera guys, and I think of you, and you should really know, you capture a time, an event and period in your life, and you can't ever get that back. Your time here as a young person in Amador County will be, you'll come back and you'll think, I can't even believe I was that person, because you don't come back as the same younger person. And I look back at those camera guys, and if they're out there watching this show, which I doubt, I love you guys. We ran around San Francisco and Chinatown.
Didn't you do a lot of traveling around the nation also?
We did, because they were from Las Vegas, so we did conventions, and I'd go to all the Mac World in those days was a big thing, and I'd interview all the guys at the show, and we'd do convention broadcasting.
So you were on camera then too?
I was. I wasn't very good. I wasn't energetic enough, but I was in my 20s, late 20s, and a lot of the early days in television, I sold CNN, and then when Wolf Blitzer was broadcasting the Gulf War, this is in the 80s, Tommy. Nobody knew what the Discovery Channel was, or TNT, or Lifetime.
That was very new, yeah.
And they had these local breaks at the top and bottom of the hour, very similar to what they have here in Amador County. You can advertise out in Sacramento on the CNN or on ESPN, and we had ESPN, CNN, TNT, but we were selling it in San Francisco. And it was a big thing. There was a lot of money to be made, and we were all out there hustling. And we had laptops in those days. They weren't very sophisticated, but we kept track of everything. And I ran around trying to sell advertising for years and years, and then ended up as a general manager of a small network that did a lot of visitor-oriented programming. And we were making commercials for $600. And, most people had to pay $6,000 in those days. A lot like TSPN, we can go out and make a commercial for $300 bucks versus $3,000.
We could be efficient.
Nothing's changed. It's all very similar. It's just different doing it in Amador County, because I care so much about the county, and I, in a similar way that I, cared about San Francisco. That was my hometown. I was born and raised in the city, grammar school, high school, all Catholic schools, that kind of thing, Italian,
Okay. You went to Santa Barbara for a while, too?
I went to Santa Barbara to college, I graduated from Santa Barbara in 1979. Very good. We should switch chairs here. I graduated at the end of the 70s. That was right after they set the Bank of America building on fire and, that kind of thing. I had that poster on my wall in my room. And, we were not big protesters. It was the generation that really didn't care about anything. We came out of the 60s and went into the 70s. That whole wave kind of died off in the early 70s. So by the time I got to Santa Barbara, it was just more of a relaxed, chill out kind of attitude, and there was a lot of outdoor, open space type of activity, and it brought me into I think, but like you, I'd wanted to go home right after college. So hopefully you'll feel the same way.
Yeah.
The minute I got out.
Yeah.
I got a car and a U-Haul trailer, and I hooked it up to the back of the Dart Swinger. And, I headed home from Santa Barbara. I gave away half my stuff, and I just packed everything I could, and I came back to San Francisco. And my grandmother sold me a house for $85,000.
Wow.
that I was born in, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
In San Francisco. Yeah, I bought a house right away, and it was an inexpensive house in a bad neighborhood. But that got my start. That's how I got my start. She co-signed on the loan, and we borrowed $50,000, and she co-signed it.
That's really neat.
And that was my first house. And the San Francisco thing, I was just happy I went back home. Mm-hmm. Just a little reminder, because it did mean a lot to me. And being able to do all that visitor stuff, with the Chamber of Commerce, Convention and Visitors Bureau, I look back at all that stuff, and that was just, my wife reminded me when I was talking with TSPN. I said, I went down to that little TV station down in Jackson. And she said, remember, you had so much fun when you were doing that? When you used to do that, you were going around to the restaurants and eating and drinking. That was the most fun you ever had. Never seen you happier. I said, really? And I guess I did. It was fun. And to think that you could recreate that in Amador County, that's pretty amazing. And I couldn't have done it without your help, and continue to do it without your help. So you're going to be here for a while, but I just want you to know that being reliable and being there early in the mornings, and somebody that you can count on with talent, and it really makes a difference.
Well, I also appreciate having the opportunity to work with you, because it's great to have another perspective from someone who's had as much experience as you. I think you provide invaluable experience to TSPN.
Well, I've noticed your work has improved since I showed up.
It has. I'm sure it has.
I doubt that very much. I really doubt that. I just bring energy. That's what it's about. And really doing what we can do for all these small businesses. You've seen them all.
Yeah, it's a great service.
The way the economy has been, and being able to really promote businesses in so many different ways at TSPN. I mean, it's a unique opportunity for me. Yeah. And if I hadn't had you here, I would have been really lost, because I can't even find the play button on the camera, let alone Zoom and things. It's really easy to stand back and say, "Hey, Tom,
well, you have a great eye for everything."
Get that. No, get that. That's the easy part. That's the easy part. But we've had a lot of fun with doing those clay pools.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the holidays. And some really good stuff out there. And visit Amador with Monique. She's a really good sport. And we started that thing not knowing where it would go, and it's been a huge success. And when I first sat down with Monique, I remember promising her, so we got Tommy. We're not going to embarrass ourselves. So I promise I won't embarrass you. I won't make a fool out of you, Monique. Please, give it a try. We'll go out. We'll do one. See how Tommy, can put it together. And it's all editing. It's all your work and all that editing, because it was really kind of a cornball start to that whole thing, and it's gotten better and better.
It's a really good concept.
Yeah, it really has.
I like the way things.
Yeah, now I was at a meeting last night out in Ione, and Monique was there. It was a Chamber Business Association meeting. And somebody asked, well, how did that whole thing start? Are you two married? I mean, how? And she was taking credit for the whole thing. She just, I was talking to Sue, and I had this idea about the visitor thing, and I'm thinking, I thought I had that idea, And so we're both, everybody's taking credit for it now, which is really a great thing.
Everybody's passionate about it.
Everybody feels like they're just a part of it, and it's fun. And especially having the businesses be a part of it, and the way they're responding. Yeah, they've been so receptive. I appreciate that out there too.
Yeah, I mean, they really make it when you're out there.
Yeah. You can't do it if you go out and you try to do something. Alan keeps yelling times. Did you hear the last
30.
one? Oh, 30 seconds. Well, I only have 30 seconds with Tommy Fox. Come on, I got to ask him a really important question. Your grandmother is wonderful with all that wine. Your mother is wonderful. You have a great family.
Yeah,
and you're very fortunate guy. Yeah. And they've been very supportive, I'm sure, and they're going to miss you when you're
I'll miss
down
everybody
in San Francisco. You got to Skype and make sure you stay in touch with your family.
And all that. Yeah.
Stay in touch with your TSPN family too. But you're going to be around for a while. We're not going to lose them just yet. Yeah. We appreciate you watching, and please stay tuned for more TSPN TV programming.
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN.